Hello and welcome to Keeping It Real Weight Loss. For anyone that's going to watch the live or the recorded, today's hello and welcome to Keeping It Real Weight Loss. I don't know what happened, it started again, so just in case I'm repeating myself. So today's title is How Leaky Gut Causes Inflammation and Chronic Disease. My name is Janet, and I'm a health and weight loss coach. I've been doing it for over 25 years. I love coaching in baby steps, and here is one of the ladies that I've helped, who I've coached week in and week out. And anyway, so welcome. So, how leaky gut causes inflammation and chronic disease. And I basically was sharing that leaky gut is basically when your cells are lined up next to each other, and then they have these tight junctions in between. When they get compromised and broken down, I'll explain to you exactly what you can do to prevent that. Really simple steps that you can start today to get rid of your pain, joint pain, arthritis. All of this is caused by inflammation in your body. And a doctor that I follow, I got a lot of this information from him. His name is Dr. Pradip Jamnadas, and he's on YouTube. You can follow him too if you'd like. I'm kind of bringing those big terms. I'm trying to simplify it for you guys, so that's why this is what the Lord has me do. But let's start with prayer really quick. So, Father God, thank you for this meeting, Father, that you will use me, Father, as your voice as to what they need right now, because your word says that for lack of knowledge, my people perish. That's found in Hosea 4:6. So we're here sharing the information so you can direct them, lead them, answer their prayers for good health, because above all, like it says in 3 John 1:2, that above all that they be in good health as their soul prospers. So you want them to be healthy, and this could be an answer to someone's prayer, and only they would know. Okay, so Holy Spirit, have your way in the mighty name of Jesus. So I'm excited. So like I said, let me see if anybody is on. Okay, so let me continue. So what I want to share really quickly is how do we get leaky gut? So basically, excuse me, let me get a sip of water really quickly. Okay, here we go. So the more and more we learn about how the body works, because God created us fearfully and wonderfully, okay? So we have a vagus nerve, which is the largest nerve in the body, okay? And it connects from the brain to your gut. And in between there, you have your lungs and your heart. So this doctor, he's a heart doctor, okay? And I'm going to give you some testimonials that he shared about what he's seen in his patients, and I'm bringing it to you. So, why the vagus nerve in your gut affects the brain and can affect your heart as well. Your vagus nerve affects, that's why the vagus nerve affects your leaky gut, which is in your microbiome has all these different trillions of bacteria, good and bad, depending what you feed them. And your energy source comes from their byproducts, okay? Okay, I'll get a little bit more into that. So all inflammation, this is what he says, that he's seen because he's a doctor with his patients, starts in the gut. He has healed their gut first and seen their other things, hypertension, insulin, improve, which improve their heart. Okay, now let me go on. So also Hippocrates, the Greek philosopher, thousands of years ago, said that all disease begins in the gut. He was a doctor. Okay, so start healing your gut by healing the leaky gut. Okay, and so it does, the things don't start leaking into your bloodstream and attacking your organs. So here I go. Let me continue. So, which causes inflammation, which is called chronic disease, which causes the chronic disease. Okay, so he says most chronic inflammation, here we go again, comes from your gut. 100 trillion bacteria in there, and your gut and the wrong bugs are in the gut. This is what's causing your inflammation. Why? Because we kill the good bacteria, okay, through our diet. Most of it comes from our diet, okay? So, the good bacteria produce byproducts to give you energy, or the bad gut bacteria also produce byproducts that are not good for you, okay? And they, so what happens is, what they're finding in studies is that the bad bacteria travels up the vagus nerve to your brain, and they're seeing through studies, there's a correlation between gut and neurodegenerative diseases. And what are these diseases? They're your Parkinson's, that they're starting to see a lot of in their patients, and dementia, inflammatory conditions in the brain, okay? So how do they get there? Through blood, and they can cross the blood-brain barrier, okay, and get direct entry to your brain, again, through this vagus nerve, okay? So the studies were showing them that these particles that were in the gut ended up in the brain by this vagus nerve, okay? So inflammation in the gut, you might have food sensitivities, you're allergic to wheat, and this is what he's finding in his patients, which is gluten. We've heard of gluten, which is a protein, and it's causing the coronary artery disease and metabolic syndrome. What is metabolic syndrome? This is where you're getting your high blood pressure, your high blood sugar, too much fat around your waist. You're getting irregular cholesterol levels. Okay, this is what it is, and this is what he's seeing as a doctor. Okay, now, so basically the main culprits all the time are wheat, dairy, and sugar. Okay, so that's why I call this group Keeping It Real Weight Loss, because most people do not want to give up everything all at once, okay? So some people will. It depends on all your symptoms and how you're feeling and where you are on the journey of your disease, or how you're not feeling good, okay? That would be up to you, but that would be one of your whys, that you want to start working on something. And I always explain the many mountains, and that's why I'm here to work with those that you have no intentions of giving up everything all at once. And you don't have to even start with the main thing that you love doing that's really not the healthiest for you. You can start in a different area, but you have to do something. And in my last week's live, I talked about writing it down, write the vision down. So you can go back in the events portion or join this group if you're not part of this group, and you can get in there and watch all the videos that I have been making. So, the second largest neural network is in your gut. And what is this neural network called? It's called the enteric nervous system, which comes from your brain. That's how it's connected. That's how your gut and your brain is connected. And these nerves go into your digestive in your gut, okay? And so it goes both ways. So they are traveling from your gut to your brain and your brain to your gut, okay? And so this is what is happening. Now, he says not all, okay, he fixed a lot of his patients' heart rhythm through their gut. He sees this all the time. This doctor is what he's saying. Arrhythmias, high blood pressure. These are autonomic nervous system which starts in your gut. But it could reset itself when you fix your gut. I'm going to give you some simple things that you can do today. So the enteric nervous system, these are the nerves. It's just basically nerves that are in your gut. And when it goes wrong, you're going to find symptoms like constipation or diarrhea. Okay. Now, I just want to keep it simple. And if you've never heard this before, it's okay, because you have to hear certain things over and over for it to get into you, so you can start really believing it, okay, and start to want to make that change. Okay. So, let me see. So, you can get a blood test. This is what he does. To find out what foods you are sensitive to. I'm just giving you basic things. If you have bad bowel problems, what he does, he checks the stool to see what bacteria is in excess. Is it the bad bacteria that is more than the good bacteria? And then he tries to balance it. And one of the ways you can do this is by having fermented foods, and I've talked about that in my other videos, like sauerkraut, kimchi, kombucha. What is another one? Yogurt. It's kefir. Okay, so there are things that you can add. So if you don't want to make changes, but that's something that's very simple. Here it is. I buy this. It's sauerkraut. I never used to eat this, and it's so simple. Like with my food, I'll take a spoonful. It just tastes a little salty, and I'm feeding my good bacteria. So these are things that I'm adding, and I'll explain all that, what else you can do. Another thing that you can do that he says is to add omega-3 capsules, because most of your neurons in your brain are made up of omega-3s, okay? Fish, you can't eat, he says you can't eat too much fish to get all the omega-3s. It just wouldn't happen. And he says that the farm fish have no omega-3, so you want the wild fish. Okay, so here's the deal. If you do not have enough omega-3s in your body, your vagus nerve is not going to work optimally, okay? Or it's really about the ratio of omega-3s to omega-6s. So we know omega-3s are in like the good oil, that you can find it in olive oil. But the omega-6s you find in your seed oils, like the bad oils that you find in your fast food, okay? Or nuts that are roasted in seed oils, which are hydrogenated oils, okay? You want to stay away from them because they have a lot to do with your arteries and clogging them. So he says that if you have a low omega-3s, it's okay if you also have low omega-6s. Remember, it's the ratio that he's after, okay? So, and having too much omega-6 from eating these seed oils is not good, and it affects your vagus nerve. Okay, so keeping it simple, keeping it real. So now, he says supplement. You want to look for in your supplement no PCPs, no dioxide, no mercury. So get a good quality one. I wish I would have showed you which one. I do the one from Nordic, I think Nordic, and I just take two of those. And he's saying that you need about, I think, 1,200 milligrams. I'm actually just doing 600. I take two of those capsules. But again, be your own doctor. Ask and change things with your doctor. So, what else? So, here it is. Here is some simple ways to start helping your microbiome, your good bacteria. So, intermittent fasting. And so, what it is, um, you want to, okay, so 12 hours is good, 14 hours is better. So, if you were to eat your last meal, let's say, at 8 o'clock in the evening, okay, you don't want to eat either till 8 o'clock the next morning or 10 o'clock. That's 14 hours. That's doable. Now, they say that if you had a cup of coffee, even the cream would not break your fast. This is what they're saying, okay? So that's a good thing if you drink coffee because your coffee helps with your appetite a little bit. At least it does for me. I love coffee, and that would be one of the other things that I would be willing to give up. See what I'm talking about? I'm keeping it real. I have a lot of other things in place, and it would probably be helpful if I did give up my coffee. But for now, I'm not doing that. Then cut out your sugar. Now, if you're not willing to do that, cut it down. How are you going to know? Keep track of it, okay? You want to go down, ideally, to 6 teaspoons a day. Everything has sugar in it. Everything has sugar, so you want to start counting the teaspoons, okay? You want to cut out carbs, realistically. So if you're eating the white flour, wheat flour, okay, here it is. Wheat flour, even the good one that has fiber in it, is not good for you. Okay, I know. If this is the first time you're hearing this, I hate to tell you. So, what it is because it's hybridized wheat. Unless you can find something that's not hybridized, I think Eichhorn, Eikhorn, is a brand that you want to look into that doesn't use the hybridized wheat, because this hybridized wheat releases a toxin, amylopectin A, that's toxic to your body. Yes, even the one that has high fiber in it. Okay, I know if this is the first time that you hear this, but did you know on the glycemic index, which is an index that rates how your food releases increases your insulin levels, and they give it a score, and actually wheat bread is pretty high up there. Okay, so this is the glycemic index. You can start looking, Googling the foods that you eat and what the glycemic index is. And we know that white flour, white sugar, I think white rice too, look it up in the glycemic index. It's not the greatest. So you want to cut down, being realistic. I'm keeping it real here. So let's say you have 2 cups of rice. Maybe switch it up. Maybe do a whole grain rice like spelt, long grain rice, or brown rice, quinoa, and 1 cup of white rice just to mix it in. I'm just keeping it real with you, okay? I'm just giving you some ideas to do. Because all of this is affecting your insulin production and your sleep. If you have sleep apnea, diabetes, okay, we're trying to go for health first, okay. Now, I'm going to give you some things. For instance, so I buy this bread. It's called Base Culture. Oh, and sourdough bread is good for you, but you want to make sure it is a quality one, and because it's cultured, okay, and it has the good bacteria. Okay, this one has water, eggs, cashew butter, arrowroot flour, sauerkraut, flaxseed, psyllium husk, and coconut oil, lactic acid, It has 3 grams of fiber and 3 grams of protein per slice. Now, of course, for me to eat it, uh, I tolerate it when I toast it and it's good. Okay, because I'm not going to eat anything that doesn't taste good, and I highly recommend you don't either. Okay, um, so then I want to give you this brand. I'm sure you've seen it in the store. It's called it's by Siete. And these things are gluten free. They're made out of cassava blend flour. It has avocado oil. Remember, we're looking for the oils. Remember, I was talking about the omega-6 oils. Coconut flour, chia seed, sea salt, lime oil, and it has 3 grams of fiber per serving and 1 gram of protein and some potassium and calcium. So I'm just giving you an option, like if you like your chips. And then there was another one that was made out of, I'll show it to you right now. I got this one. It's made out of, it's the nacho one, and that one tastes pretty good. And it has, what they do is, and if you've never heard of it, it's called nutritional yeast, and it has a lot of B vitamins, and it's really good for your gut bacteria. They use that to flavor it up with cheese, and you can't even tell, trust me. I'm one of those that I will only eat things that I love. So you want to cut down. Now, here's the deal. I've talked about increasing your fiber. Your gut bacteria want to eat fiber. If you're not going to feed them the fiber, they're going to eat your lining. Okay, and this is what this is what causes this leaky gut, and you end up with chronic inflammation in your body, period. All your diseases, you want to start looking at your gut. Let me tell you something. The Lord has me on a mission with this gut thing. Believe me. And the more and more I learn about this gut, I'm going to keep sharing it with you. And I keep making better choices for myself. So again, listen to the scriptures he gave me too. Proverbs chapter 17, verse 22. A joyful heart is good medicine, but a crushed spirit dries up the bones. And you know, when you're not feeling good, you're going to have a crushed spirit. You're just not feeling good. Okay, so let's get you feeling good. And in Matthew chapter 4, verse 23, Jesus was healing every disease. So health and well-being is very important to God. And could this be an answered prayer, that knowledge? My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, like it says in Hosea 4:6. Could this be what we're doing here be an answer to your prayer, that he wants you to change, start making changes, and write the vision down? Go back and listen to that video that I put last week. And then again in 3 John 1:2, beloved, I pray that all may go well with you, and that you may be in good health, just as it is well with your soul. Our mind, our will, our emotions. That's what we're doing here. We can't leave the Holy Spirit out. We have to seek first the kingdom, because he's the one that's going to tell you what you need. This walk is between you and the Lord. I say this all the time. It's not us judging each other where you're at in your walk. This is not, this is about you and the Lord. And he cares spirit, soul, and body. And that is why, again, I say that he had me break it up, he said, for such a time as this. And I have fast food as one of the many mountains, because in this day and age, people are eating fast food. They're eating it for many reasons. You're tired, you're stressed, you're unmotivated, and that it tastes good. So he wants to work with you. So let's say you're eating fast food once a day. So how God would work with you, because remember, he's going to work with what you really want to do. He's working within your week. He's being realistic. He's watching you. He knows you. And maybe you would make a commitment on that vision and write it down. That's where you would start, just there. At least you're doing something, your why, because you have to do something. We are not looking at weight loss first here. We're looking at health first and weight loss second. Your weight will start working. Get your gut going. Get it balanced. And watch all the other things. Watch your blood pressure start coming down. Watch your symptoms go down. One of my clients told me that, when she started increasing her fruits and vegetables, because that was the plan we had for that week, she started to notice her inflammation go down and she was able to be more mobile. So let's get your gut healed, okay? So let's say you start to say, and you need help from the Lord to give you self-control with your fast food. You make a commitment to go down to 4 days a week and only eat it 3 days a week. That's a big step for you. Start somewhere, okay? And the Lord will strengthen you, but write it down, because life happens. You're going to feel unmotivated, but this is the best way, a good way for you to be consistent and motivated. It doesn't mean you're going to stay there. It just means you're starting to do something, but you have to say yes and make a commitment. And when you write it down, you are making a commitment to yourself, okay? Another thing that your microbiome, your bacteria, fiber, so your seeds, your nuts. If you're allergic to certain nuts, ask the Lord which nuts you're not allergic to. There are so many other things you can choose from. Beans. They love to eat beans. They're full of fiber and protein. What else? Um, they found in studies, I'm going to repeat it again, that 30 different fruits and vegetables, legumes, spelt, amaranth, all your grains, and herbs. If you you sprinkle this on your food, cumin, that counts. They found that 30 different things in a week. All of this matters. A little bit of sauerkraut here. And I will make another video about good salt. This is Himalayan pink salt. Check your sodium levels. We have heard for many, many years that sodium salt is bad for you. Yes, the bad one, the refined one is bad for you. You want the unrefined. You want the Celtic salt. You want the real Himalayan sea salt, okay? It's mostly a little bit wet. And what I do and what I've learned, taking a little crystal. Now you want to drink your water. If you're not drinking water, OMG, everything is not going to work properly in your body. So I would highly recommend that you start with water. And before you take each glass of water or each bottle of water, take a little bit of that good sea salt and put it on your tongue, because your cells need that sodium to penetrate the water to go in your cell. If this is the first time you're hearing that, okay, that's the good news. The more and more you hear it, Google it. Google this good salt, what it does for you. And then you want to get your sodium levels checked out by your doctor, and you will be surprised. Okay, and then I'm also going to be sharing in next video, so check on them, maybe next week. I'm going to talk about iodine. Iodine is the missing link to, it's one of the halogens on the mineral chart. I've known about it for many, many years. And it's not until now that the Lord brings me the information again. I found a really good doctor who the Lord raised up. His name is Dr. David Brownstein. You can go and get his book if you want, but just you can wait for my video. I'm going to try to simplify it for you, what I understand about this iodine and how much you're supposed to take. Most doctors now are saying you shouldn't take it. It's not good for you. But that's not the truth of the matter. Remember, conventional medicine, if they are not well versed in the holistic part, the natural part too, they are not going to believe it. And they will be the first to admit that they were not trained up in nutrition. I mean this, it's not their fault. But there are a lot of doctors getting on board with this holistic approach too. If you can find yourself a doctor that is well versed in both, you found a gold mine. I'm sorry I have to say that. I always talk about that when my kids were little, I was very well versed in probiotics. And when they wanted to write a prescription for antibiotics, would question them. And then they would tell me, oh, well, just watch them. If they get better, you don't have to give it to them. And guess what? I didn't give it to them. I hardly had my kids on probiotics. I did have them on high fruits and vegetables, okay? But now that I know that adding oregano leaves and sauerkraut, which is fermented foods that your gut bacteria love, but you need a diversity. You need to diversify. This is how to get a good microbiome, okay? I hope this video helped you. Start making changes if you have any questions. I am working on my coaching program where I can keep all the basic things in one place. So you are not Googling information just to Google it, because you want to make sure that the person or where you're getting the information from is the right information. And anyway, who has time for that? The only reason I have time is because this is what I do. This is where I spend the majority of my time, education. I love to learn. And obviously, the Lord made me that way. I love it. I've always loved, like I would always say, what is my purpose? It isn't until the deeper I go with the Lord that I have found my passion and my mission. And that is, okay, I'm a weight loss coach. I can crunch your numbers. Again, I crunched her numbers, but you know what? For such a time as this, I am going to include how to calculate your BMR and how to calculate your exact calories for your metabolism. And at least include it as a tool in my program that I'm developing, because it's going to be a tool, especially in the beginning. So you at least know, and I'm going to explain why you plateau. All of that is going to be in this membership, and I'm so excited because it's going to have a little bit of everything. It's going to give you the right knowledge to get you moving on the right path to start healing your chronic conditions. No, you don't have to stay that way. You don't have to stay with that diagnosis of fibromyalgia, of heart condition, of what else? All these different pains. You can improve it. Isn't that the good news? Isn't this what it's all about? That God is bringing you the good news, that you do not have to stay that way, and that He created, remember, He created you and I, and He said in the Bible, eat freely of all these herb plants and trees. Eat freely. Right there, I'm going to say it again. You are unmotivated. You don't feel good. You know what? I understand. You don't feel good. Who cares? Who's motivated, to want to do it? But don't change everything if you are there. But you need to start giving your body the right nutrients. So start eating from the garden. Don't change everything else. Start to add. Get away from saying to yourself, I can't have this, I can't have that. I get it, I understand. So I've talked about this in the other videos. I didn't know I was going to talk about that. But that's, if I was in that condition and I had a lot of weight to lose, I would start there, okay? Because it starts with your yes. You sitting down with yourself and praying and asking the Lord to strengthen you. And He will, because He sees you and He wants you well. He really does. He came to give you life and give it to you more abundantly. But give Him something to work with. What else do I want to say? I think that's it. So anyway, share this video if you know someone who is suffering from something chronic. They're not feeling good. So share this video. Leave your comments below because I would really like to hear what you're struggling with. I do talk about I am a weight loss coach, but I'm going to include how to calculate a pound. But just so you know what it really takes, but I would rather see you start working on your gut and your health. I would really like to see you feeling good, getting better sleep. Remember, all of this, once you start healing your gut, is going to roll over into all these conditions that you're experiencing and insulin levels. And we got to get those insulin levels down. And I am going to be sharing I have so much more that I want to share, but I don't want to make this video longer than it is. So God bless you. Please share this video because we just got to get the information out. And so have a great day. God bless you.